Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, the question of the night is Brando has been gone since September. Since September. So, does anyone miss him? Spiderquake is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Cavo's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Nikisha, how's everything going? I hope you had a great day. Nikisha misses Brando. Why do you miss Brando? Very curious about that. I think when I re-edit this, I should probably. Spiderquake says I forgot. I'm gonna sit there and listen to it tonight. By the time we finished having a conversation, I went right to bed, and then I went to work, and then it's just been a mess. But I'm gonna listen to it tonight, though. I'm actually looking forward to it. Actually, tell you the truth, I'm gonna listen to it after I finish the live. How you doing tonight, Mel? Thank you for joining. My quick says my day was terrible at 10 to 12. Oof. Wow, what happened today, Spikequake? Nikisha, because he would have been a better Yeah. He would have been really interesting. And I think it's a shame that they wasted him, Spider-Quick says, since then it's been better. Okay. Well, I'm glad it got better, Spider-Quick. How you doing tonight, Karen? Thank you for joining. I hope you had a great day. Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is that I missed the potential that Brando brought, to the show, and it's unfortunate that they had to sit there and saddle her up. But Sasha, sad Sasha, how you doing tonight, Crystal Williams? Thank you for joining. Mel says I found out what RJ's name was on the Blonde Beautiful. Oh, Anthony Tyler. Okay, all right, thank you. Now, one of the many reasons why you're my favorite. Thank you so much. Shorty Quick says, if the Anthony storyline is fair, I feel bad. Like, I really felt bad for her. Spider-Quake, I felt bad for her, but then she was talking to Ryan and it made me think that, like, she was lying. But I'm not going to lie, Spider-Quake, there was a part of me that was like, is that my imagination or is she actually being human for a minute? How you doing tonight, Black Mon? Thank you for joining. Hope you had a great day. He says, I would like to see Brando act like he did when he first came to Port Charles. No sympathy. Loving Nikisha, and she puts that in all caps, so you know she's serious. Spider Quick says, I hope she didn't lie about that. Yeah, I did kind of feel bad for her. How you doing tonight, Janet? I was like, man, I hope I'm not being gullible. I'm being gullible. Mel says, I watched you in Restless for tomorrow. Yeah. I think you did, Mel. I think you did. Nikisha, a Christmas tree could fall on her head. Yeah. uh in case she's up mouse. And the sad thing is I think that she's I think that she's being serious. Spider Quick says I think it can be real, but it's using it as an advantage. Yeah, sometimes the best way to sit there and get somebody to believe you is to mix it a little bit of a little bit of truth with the lie. Black Mine, I was doing good today. There was one point I felt a little kind of sick, to be honest. Like I just had too much dairy. A little lightheaded, to be honest. And that was a little kind of scary. But then it only lasted for like maybe a few seconds. Oh yeah, no, Spider Quick, I did. I'm just gonna upload it after I finish doing this review tonight. Because I didn't want to sit there. Oh, Shakira, you could definitely skip it. But I wanted to make sure I had enough. I wanted to charge up the laptop fully before I And I knew by the time I would have uploaded it, it just wouldn't work. So I definitely, I definitely did do a review on that. Nikki says I refuse to feel bad for Esme until she pays for drugging for filming Cam and Josh. Okay, thank you, Nikisha. Thank you. It was weird too. I don't know. I don't know. I think I might actually had too much dairy today. Yeah, Janet. Well, I saw today's episode. It was pretty good. Mel says I'm happy that Hope. Oh, okay, Mel. Yeah, I didn't watch yet, so I look forward to seeing it. How you doing tonight, Ruth? Seems like every character in General Hospital, they waste a potential characters like it's a thrive in soap operas that if they have a potential for these characters, they bound to flop. Yeah. Shakira says, which one should I watch first? Oh, Shakira, I didn't actually watch B&B yet, so I can't say. I only saw today's episode of YNR. So, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, it's kind of a toss up because they've both been pretty good so far. Spinner Quick says, I wonder if Hippie, no, okay. Oh, yeah. Uh, I gotta put down my next, I have to put down my next community post for tomorrow. Karen says, I like the gifts I gave to Spencer to give to Trina. Karen, this whole Cyrus being a mentor, I don't know how I feel about that. Between that and him finding religion, just a little kind of off to me. What's good, Makai? How you doing tonight? Obviously says, I would say I miss Brando. That would be good. That would be like, oh, yeah. I think I might actually have too much dairy today. I thought they were out of a drink, so I ordered another drink. And then they made the drink, and then they made my other drink that I originally wanted. So then I had two drinks, and I wound up drinking both of them. And then I realized that maybe too much dairy is not a good thing for me. So that was fun today. Um, Now I know just one latte a day. Like seriously, just one latte a day. Like Rick says, the only important thing on GH is probably the whole Esme stuff and Ryan and Heather. Yeah, kind of agree with that. Bruce says, so how are you doing, Albert? How's your day? I'm just being polite. No, Ruth, you're. I appreciate you being here. I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better today now than I did earlier. So thank you for asking. I hope you had a good day too, Ruth. He says, I didn't get Spencer and Cyrus conversation today, like how Spencer has doubts about Victor, but in their last scene, Spencer seemed like he believes Cyrus. Oh, yeah, that is true, Nikisha. I did wonder that myself. I was like, wait, hold on. What? Like, why are you sitting there giving? You're absolutely right, Nikisha. Um, Karen says Heather gave Jeff the business day. Yeah, Karen, totally. I'm like, you weren't there for your family. You have the audacity to sit there and talk about stay away from my family, bro. You stayed away from your daughter for years. Like, stop talking. Makai says, I think Liz is getting herself into hot water with yeah, and Makai, she volunteered for that. Jenna says, I get lactose free milk. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really had that much of a problem, but I guess just having double the amount of what I normally take and probably four shots maybe didn't help me. So it was a learning lesson. How you doing tonight, Tracy? Thank you for joining. Hope you had a great day. But yeah, no, Jen, it was definitely a learning lesson. Spiderquake says you had to told. Yeah, exactly. And Spiderquake, when the crazy chick is making sense, there's a problem. Mel says it was a slap in the face to see Daniel tell Lily when I heard you were together. Yeah, exactly, Mel. I was like, whoa, okay. Like Mel, can you imagine somebody your ex comes into your life and says, "By the way, you and that new guy that you're with, yeah, I don't really see it." That would be insulting, not just to my girlfriend, but to me as well. Mel says, "I'm new to Nicole, did not sleep week." Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. Mel. Now that I think about it, I don't know how that would fly in this century, and in this you know political climate. Let's put it this way. Jennifer P says the actress playing Heather is really good. Yeah, Jennifer P. I feel like the actress that plays this Heather is even more like she plays her a lot more crazier than the other one. How you doing tonight, Dolly? Thank you for joining. Hope you had a great day. It's always great to see you in the chat. WC says I think the hook killer is Esme's nanny. Yeah, Heather will figure it out. Grams TV's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope you had a great day. And how you doing tonight, Jakaris? I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better today. I'm doing a lot better tonight, I would say. A lot better tonight. Thank you, Jennifer P. Yeah, we got 14 people so far in the chat. We got 8 likes. So if you are enjoying the stream, hit the like button. It definitely does help. Mr. Cheyenne is in the chat. What's good? What's your thoughts on Lorray? I like Lorray. And she kills it with Carly. And I mean, I haven't read anything bad about her, so I would say that much. But Cheyenne, how's the channel going though? How's the YouTube channel going? Hope you're. I haven't checked it out in a minute though. I miss going to see your channel every now and then. Good. All right. I gotta check it out. Um, Dolly says the current Heather also did a good job playing crazy on B&B. Dolly, what was her character on B&B? Mel says Sally is just easily gold digger and sleeping with Adam and Nick, and I hope they walk. Mel, yes. I don't know if you caught my review today. I don't understand how both of those men still want to be with Sally. Like, how do you sit there? This dude walked into a room that practically smelled like sex, sin, and a couple other things, and she's just like, "Wait, let me explain." What what is there to explain? You just banged his brother, and oh my god! Please chat. Please tell me how that actually makes sense. If anyone saw today's YNR, double C Pam on BNB. Okay. Nikki says Sally isn't a gold digger. She just didn't take Nick's money. I don't defend her sexing brother, but I don't think it's about. Yeah, no, Nikki, I don't think it's about money either. I don't. But it's. I mean, come on now. Dude literally just walked into the room that smelled like sex and sin. The hell is going on? Mel says, oh, okay, cool, Pam. Thank you, WCML. Interesting. I'll sit there and try to watch some old clips of her. What's good, Eagle Fang? Teasing Curtis and Jordan. Eagle Fang, I don't know what Jordan ever saw in Curtis. I really don't. Jonathan's in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight? Thank you for being here. I always appreciate seeing you in the chat. Every time I see the J and the blue purple thing, I'm just like very excited. I'm very happy to see you. When I see that icon, Jennifer's banging her brother. That's true, Jennifer P. That's exactly true. That's exactly true. I mean, come on. That's literally what would want to happen. Dolly says she played Pam on B&B. She hated the character Donna, and I think synced a bear on her. Oh, Dolly, I must have missed out on some really good stuff. You got bears, you got dogs, and he says, I wish Jordan would smack her today. Every time he speaks to Jordan, it is disrespectful. I don't know why the writers have her still loving him. Nikisha, I don't understand what the hell she saw in him in the first place. How are you going to, okay, how are you going to sit there and invite this woman? How are you going to sit there and invite Jordan to your wedding? You practically left Jordan for her. And mm, God says she plays Stephanie for her sister Pam on B&B. She was famous for making her lemon bars. Lemon bars. Eagle fan says, I think he is the one with the arrangement, unlike Pop's not Trina. Oh, Portia and her slick little ways. Dolly says Pam poured honey on Donna and tried to. I mean, Dolly, I know that's bad, but I'm like, that is some really good soap. Dolly, how do we go from that to whatever the hell we're watching now? How do we do that? How do um, that sounds crazy. Johnson says Jeff and Heather were finally face to face. Jonathan, yes, that's exactly. When I saw them together, I was like, I thought of DC for some odd reason because you couldn't wait for those two to get together. Karen says Curtis is being a real jerk with Jordan. Yeah, um, Karen, that's putting it nicely. Spotty Quick says exactly. Curtis can get the hook. Eagle Fang says keep Jordan away from Curtis. Nikki says Jordan deserves another love interest. Who would pair? Who we pair her with? Hmm. That's a good question, Nikisha. You want to pair her with Sunny? I'm just joking. Or am I? Mal says Pam tied up Donna to put honey on her so a bear could attack her. And now that sounds like some really good soap. Johnson says, and Steve Laura was mentioned. Yeah, Jonathan, especially when Heather was like, "Oh, did you visit our son yet? Did, did that happen?" Because Jeff has just been an absentee parent since like I don't know forever. Eagle fan says, "Oh, Austin." Makai says, "Put Jordan with Brick." I'm kind of speechless for a minute because I'm like, I can see that working out. Eagle Fang says Austin enjoying the odd couple, but still better than Maxie and Austin. Nikki says Jordan and Sunny do have some chemistry though. No, but Makai actually brought up a really good pairing. Brick and Jordan. I mean, granted, obviously, because they work on the opposite sides of the law, but if we take that stuff out, yeah, Double C. Apparently, Steven is still in jail. Um, Jennifer P says pair Jordan with Brick. Yeah. Um, Jennifer P says he's not on enough though. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The dude is always doing something. He has different shows and stuff like that. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the whole law and him doing what he does just does not work. Juanita's in the chat. How you doing tonight, Juanita? Um, it's really good seeing you. I haven't seen you in a hot minute, so it's good seeing you again. Spider Quake says that wouldn't work, but without Jordan being a cop, I don't know, probably. Yeah. Jordan says Steve should have been released by now. My guy said, "What did Steve Laura go to jail for?" Makai actually forgot as well. I really do. I actually forgot as well. Sean is in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight? Hope you had a great day. Mr. Cheyenne says, can't wait for 2023 New Year, fresh start. Hmm. Fresh start, fresh possibilities, new beginnings. Can see that. Jennifer P says the work Brick does with Sonny Wood of May Jordan and Brick. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, besides the whole work thing, I could just see them working out maybe. Now Mel says, no, it's going to be Ridge and Brooke getting married, and they been married 8 times, more than Taylor. About Brooke's destiny. Jonathan says Steve sacrificed a patient in order to save another one back in Tennessee. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I remember that his pat. Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. His past caught up with him. Nikki says, "I don't want Jordan to have to compromise her job for a man." Grams TV says he sacrificed a patient to save a little girl. Yeah, I remember that now. Karen says, "I like Jordan with Sean." You know, Karen, it's too bad. See, when Ruth came in, Ruth was like, Gage has a really bad habit of wasting characters. And Sean was another one of those casualties. They could have paired Sean up with Jordan, but instead they try to, oh Sean, I'm gonna sit there and pair you up with Alexis one more time because why? Dolly says I'm down for Jordan and Brick now. The chat has been writing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dolly. Mikhail says I really would like to see Carly and Brick together. They have major chemistry. Jennifer P says, with Steve, how much prison time is he doing? He's been, yeah. Now, Nikisha, do Jordan remember that she has Ryan's kidney? Does Curtis something that he broke all the rules with Ben and Elizabeth to get that kidney? Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Johnson says, what about Jordan and Taggart? You know, Jonathan, I don't, that's another person who hasn't really been on the show that much. So it's sort of like the Brick situation. Now, Jay Blue says, oh, Alexis and Curtis really hurt me today. I'm glad Jordan stood her ground. I was hoping she would tear up the invite, but I'm glad she declined the invite. Yeah, exactly. Like, Jay, Right Quick says, BRB. Mel says, Finn knows that Sheila told did not. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's from yesterday. Shauna says, I'm over Curtis. Why bring her an invite to. Exactly, Shauna. I'm like, why would you sit there and invite the woman that you divorced that you couldn't wait to be with Portia? Like, why would you? I feel like that's so disrespectful. And yet, Jordan still loves this. God, I don't understand that. Um, Johnson says Steve has been in prison for about 10 years now. I think you're about right. I could be wrong though. I'll trust your math on that one. Dolly says Carly had amazing chemistry with Sean too. I hate the writers chicken out. Dolly, why do you think that the writers chicken out? I mean, besides what we're both not going to sit there and say. Graham's TV says Steve Lars and Matt Hunter should. Graham's TV, I totally forgot about Matt Hunter. Patrick Drake's half brother. Totally forgot about him. Shauna says Ben's hitting my nerves. He's too nosy. Well, I mean, Liz did just make a beeline right to Nicholas. So I don't know. I mean, they're in a relationship, so I don't understand. I think there's a little bit of room for investigation, as far as that is concerned. Kai says, "Is there a deeper secret between Marshall and Stella?" You know, when we found out what Marshall went to jail for the most part, it was pretty mm, disappointing. I don't know. Someone says, "I know Spencer. I know Spencer. Not that naive." Johnson says Steve went to jail in 2013. So in 20, yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, Graham CB. Okay, yeah, no, he should have been released. How am I doing? Ooh, that's not good. Rolly says, "I don't want to be a dead horse, but if the put Sean with Carly, he was going to be a lead, and at that time, Jace Mail's lead looked, yeah, okay. No, Dolly, that's why I was like, no, I know where you're going with this. Like we're both just not saying. Um, Now Shauna says, "Why is Portia begging Hat Daddy, berating Hat Daddy?" Yeah, no, Shauna, she's trying to be slick. Okay, she's trying to find out if Trina has the, I don't know, genetic markers or whatever without actually telling the truth. And when the Hat Daddy shut that down, she just had that look on her face like, oh, now what am I gonna do? You can try telling the truth. You can start with that. What do you think about that? Johnson says then Matt probably started a life somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, Patrick was there for a while. Matt was there, but Matt was pretty much under Patrick's shadow. And Patrick isn't on the show anymore. So in reality, what do we really need Matt for? When you really think about it, what do we really need him for? Jonathan, you remember at that time? Oh, we got a new person in the chat. Tom, why isn't Curtis running his club? Tom, because that's not Curtis's club anymore. That is Miss Wu's club. Okay, Curtis is a little bit, behind on the times. So, that's Miss Wu's nightclub. That's not Curtis's nightclub. Let's just be real. And let's everyone give a warm welcome to Tom, because Tom is a new person in the chat. Thank you for joining, Tom. Let's everyone say what's up to Tom. He says, "I think Portia thinks Marshall was misdiagnosed." Do you really think that, Nikisha, or do you think that she just wants to get information to try to determine if Portia is, um, she has the markers for schizophrenia? Because I feel like that's what she was trying to do. I mean, granted, yeah, Nikisha, there's a good possibility that Marshall could have been misdiagnosed back then. Jennifer P, we all know that that's true. Shauna says, "I knew Jack was going to move Diane, and I knew it was more to it. Diane got that man's money." Well, Shauna, apparently to her, she spent it on getting herself better, working on herself. Um, JetBlue says the question is, does Marshall suspect Portia of something, or is he annoyed? The look that gave, yeah, hopefully, I don't want to give the writers too much credit, but hopefully Marshall's catching on. Tom says Cam is the next victim of the hook. Just my guess, and something is happening between Aunt Stella and Marshall. Well, something's been happening between those two as far as keeping whatever secret that they have from Curtis. I don't know what this secret is. I don't even remember, but I feel like there might be a secret. Shauna says Kyle is not about that life. Yeah, Shauna, I laughed so hard When he walked into that man's room, it was like, I'm only going to say this once. Leave Diane alone. I sat there, I was like, oh, this guy actually put on his big boy pants. And a little tone, a little bass in his voice. Ooh. I just, okay, Kyle. He says, since we know that Curtis does not have a market, that means Trina doesn't, right? So Marshall's status doesn't affect Trina. Also, Curtis can't pass on something he doesn't have unless if it can skip a generation. Hmm. Yeah, thank you for being here, Tom. You know, I don't know. I would have to sit there and look that up. But the problem is, we all know that when it comes towards these soap operas like General Hospital, they tend to play fast and loose with things like the law and like medical stuff. I mean, can we all go back to HIPAA with Willow and that jackass of a judge? Yeah, with the whole Shiloh thing. Mel says I knew that Diane wants to be the next Mrs. Abbott, getting closer to Jack, Kyle, Summer, and Harrison, but Ashley would not ever accept Diane. Oh yeah, Diane. Yeah, of course not, Mel. But even Ashley started to have some sense when she was like, maybe bringing Jeremy Starks into her life may not be the best thing. Because the guy may be dangerous and like physically harm Diane. And of course, Phyllis doesn't care, which is just like, you do realize that it's going to affect your daughter because it's going to affect her son. I swear, I feel like this woman, Phyllis, is just, ugh. Shauna says Jack and Diane both told Kyle, don't provoke the man. He texted Diane. Yeah, no, that's true. But again, Shauna, Kyle felt the need to put on his big boy shoes and march up to, you know, Stark and demand that he leave his mother alone. I'm not gonna sit there and make fun of that, but um I'm just like, Kyle, you're like what, 130 pounds at most? You might want to just like go sit down somewhere. So yeah, today's episode wine Shauna says Sally's pathetic. Nick's mad. Nick Nick needs to run for the hills. The fact that Nick actually sat there and entertained this chick was just, I couldn't tell if it was laughable or pathetic or both. But the fact that she was like, I pretty much had to get Adam out of my system. You had to get Adam out of your system by, 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 by having sex with him. There's a bunch of different ways you can. Yeah, Juanita. I'm just like, and God, how do you even want to sit there and be with her at that point? Like, no offense, but I wouldn't go out with any of my friends' exes ever, 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 ever. Mel says Kyle is trying to push Jeremy's button, but he said you made a mistake going. Yeah. Well, no, I don't know what the hell Kyle was trying to do. I think Kyle was there trying to be um like a man about it, or whatever his version of a man is supposed to be. But I found it to be more laughable than anything else. I will say this though. At least Kyle and Summer are actually doing stuff. Now, if we can get Taraya or Mariah and Tess to do stuff, then we actually have something. Shauna says if Nick did not catch her, she wasn't going to tell him. Think so? You're probably right. Jonathan says, "What did you think of today?" I actually liked today's episode of Days, Jonathan. Oddly, I actually liked EJ with Nicholas. I mean EJ with Nicole. I don't know why, but I really did. I really liked those two together in this odd way. In the chat, I'm not about coupling, but I do like how they play off for each other. What's good, Nate? How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Hope you had a great day. Um, did you get a chance to watch any of the soaps today? And if so, what did you think of? Uh, Actually, Nate, what soap opera do you watch? Because I know one of them is General Hospital, or is it just General Hospital? Johnson said, "Look like Sloan is going to represent Eric." Yeah, Johnson, it looked like Sloan was going to do more than just represent Eric. I love how at first she turned around like, "What are you gawking at?" I'm like, "This dude is literally trying to nurse a hangover, and you are screaming at the top of your lungs." Is he just going to just be like, you know what? Let me just leave the cell for a little bit. Let you two ladies just chit chat. I'll be right outside. But I do feel like they're going to hook up though. If anything, just to get back at Nicole. Dolly said they had some interesting pairings on days. I like. That's why I was. Yes. Yeah. Days. Days usually kills us. I always have faith in Days. Nate says I'm doing good, and no, I don't. Miss Brando mostly watch Days, maybe YNR, and barely GH and BB. I check out GH on YouTube since I can fast forward more. Yeah, yeah, Nate. That's the eternal question today. It's like, do you miss them? And it's like, I personally don't. But Shauna says, why is Rick Weber still there? Damn good question. He hasn't done anything for his family or anything in years. He says, "Hello, Albert and fam." Yeah. Oh, how you doing tonight, Kenya? Thank you for joining. I don't know, for some odd reason I was like, did I talk to you? I was like, no, I'm talking. I talked to Juanita. Juanita. I'm doing good. I'm doing good tonight, Kenya. How you doing tonight? Hope you had a great day, and thank you for joining. Johnson said, "I'm starting to think that Sloan will be the one who slaps Nicole." Hmm. I gotta watch the previews again. Shauna says Curtis and Alexis going to get somebody hooked. Yeah, exactly. And then Alexa's gonna sit there and start crying, boo hoo, I didn't know. And yeah. Tina says, I don't get why Rick Webber's still there. Yeah. I know it's probably gonna have something to do with Fenn and hmm, I don't know. Kenya, I just see him as kind of a deadbeat and just a terrible parent. The fact that he actually had to our dad, Kenya did Kenya, I found this so laughable that even Heather was like, "Why are you coming at me talking about, stay away from your family?" And he stayed away from his family for years, years, particularly Liz. And then had the audacity to sit there and say, "Oh, Liz, you're my favorite." Really? Mel says Johnny and Chanel will get closer again. I wonder if Wendy will be jealous. What do you call it? Jay Win, right? I don't know. Mel, I actually like the name Jay Win a lot better than Wendy. I don't have a problem with anyone named Wendy. I just like Jay Wynn a lot better. But yeah, I see that happening. Shauna says Esme plotting Nicholas better not take her out. Shauna, I was actually falling for her story. And I felt kind of gullible, but I really was falling for her story. Dolly says Sloan is a master class on how to get introducing a new character on the soap. I really thought she was going to be a throwaway character, but yeah, yes, she is, Dolly. I 100% agree with that. Hendrix is in the chat again. I think Elizabeth is going to be in big trouble. I mean, when everything comes to light, yeah, especially when Esme was like, um, Ava's going down. You're gonna sit there and have Liz going down with you. Jennifer P says Liz still on pills. Yeah, which is really odd because you would think at some point that they would start counting that stuff. But okay, sure. Kenya says, but Heather read Jeff today. Yeah, yeah. That's Kenya. That's why I was like, yo, when Heather Weber, when the crazy chick starts to make sense, we got some issues. Shauna says, I saw Liz getting some pills from the hospital. Oh, okay, I just read that. Nate said, if the actor who played Brando played a legacy character, maybe I will care. I don't know. I don't know, Nate. You remember that chick, Rebecca Shaw, back in the day? I mean, she was part of a legacy family, and no one cared about her. And then she wound up going off into the sunset somewhere, and we didn't really give her a second glance. Johnson says, I do think EJ and Sloan could still happen. Maybe. It would be interesting. Nikki said that she still prenatals because she could have brought them over the cap. Really? Well, then that's just plain silly, then, Nikisha. Monique is in the chat, says, I like how Heather gave it to Jeff. She told him about himself, and he couldn't say nothing but stay away from my family. Exactly. He started to sound like a broken record. And again, like I said, Monique, when the crazy chick makes sense, we got some issues. Mel says, Sheila told Deacon what doesn't mean to be a corpse going to prison. Well, if everyone thinks, yeah. But Mel, I felt like yesterday, as much as I love Sheila and Deacon, they were the most useless part of that episode yesterday. It was literally on repeat. You could have fast forwarded and missed nothing. Shauna says Heather's messing with Ryan and he called his first he clenched his fist up, yeah. Yeah, I wonder what is his beef with Heather? Jay Blue says I, I wonder a little if the Christmas story tree story was yeah, she had a lot of people thinking. I was like, for a hot minute, I was like, wait, is she actually, does she actually have a heart? Oh, John, you're watching the Winchesters right now. Let me know how it is, Jonathan. I mean, I know I'm still, well, let's be honest, I'm still butthurt about um, the CW and everything, but let me know how it is. Shauna says Deacon made a big mistake. She's feeling cornered right now. Oh, you mean in today's episode? Mm. He says, I'm confused. How can Victor promise Nicholas his trust fund? I thought Ava had control over that. Well, I mean, Nikisha, hmm, I think, that's, I gotta think about that one for a minute. Because Nikisha, I was trying to come up with an answer. I was like, but Nikisha has a point. Johnson says it's not bad. Okay. So far, I'm not enjoying it as much as Supernatural, but it's not bad. Uh, Jennifer P says Esme is a liar. Jennifer P, I feel like the best lies are the lies with a hint of truth. So I don't know exactly how much is Esme is lying, if she is. Yeah, Jonathan, I guess for me, it's one of those things where it's like, there's a couple of reasons why I don't want to watch it, besides the fact that I despise the CW. It's not Dean, it's not Sam and Dean. And I would have picked any other spinoff other than, yeah, no, I heard. I heard. And you know the sad thing is, Jonathan, maybe like a couple years ago, I would have been really excited for that, but now I'm just like, yeah, but it's a CW, and I just. Plus, Jonathan, they had other spinoffs that would have worked. You know, I don't know if you remember the show called the. Well, they were going to do something called the Wavery Sisters, and then they nixed that, and those are some characters I actually liked. But no, they decided to do a prequel because for some odd reason they thought people actually asked for that. Um, Nikki says, Nikki thing. I mean, it's true, Nikisha, because for a second it was like, yeah, yeah. He said, I'd rather a Winchester spinoff. Yeah, I just see, Nikisha. This is why I love my regulars, and I love that you actually remembered that episode, and that would have been a great. No, they decided to go with a prequel because that actually made sense. Oh God, Johnson says the show doesn't feel fresh. And the sad thing, Jonathan, even with Supernatural, it wasn't like the special effects was like really great. But what they lacked in special effects, they made up for it in characters. Like characters and character development. Like I love Bobby. Bobby was my guy. And for some odd reason, they think that this show is going to work. Spider Quick says, still feel like it was more Willowed. Okay. Spider Quick, I'm just going to agree to disagree with you on that. I am. I'm going to agree to disagree with you on that. And yesterday I felt like the conversation did get a little heated, but I'm so glad that I have an amazing group of subscribers that, like we didn't get too like out of hand, and I love that. You know, Shauna says Deacon should have been turned in. I can't wait. The whole thinks back to seeing her in Deacon's house. Yeah, because at one point Hope did look at her like, "Hey, you look a little kind of familiar." Monique says, I think it's called the Wavery, which is, it was going to be on it. Oh, really? Well, Monique, I still would have watched it. I still would have watched it. But no, no, no. They decided to go with the Winchesters because for some odd reason, the sad thing is that with prequels, you don't really have to worry about stakes. I mean, yeah, even if Mary and whatever his name is dies, they're gonna come back eventually. So there's just not really a lot of stakes in it. And I think that's my issue with a lot of prequels. Um, John says, okay, and I'm missing some people in the chat. John says John, and it's John. That's his, okay. And it's interesting, Jonathan. When I first started watching Supernatural, I did it in a time where it was very. It wasn't a good time in my life. And I really fell in love with the show and the characters, and I went back and I started watching all the old episodes on Netflix and everything like that, and I just can't believe that they said for somebody. I mean, it's 15 years of that show. Why does anyone think that we should just go back to the beginning for some odd reason? Juanita says Sheila toe was surgically removed with a scalpel. Oh, okay. Hope Deacon doesn't go to jail. I like Deacon, but you know what? He may go away for a little bit. I heard he may be doing some stuff in Cobra Kai. Mel says Hope is going to be mad. Yeah. Well, she's going to be disappointed also. Like quick says, I explained my reason in that one message, and I know Albert disagrees with me, but I stated my reason. No, I mean, really quick, it's cool. Like I said, we don't always have to agree on everything. Um, I still appreciate you being a subscriber. And besides, I'm not one of those type of people that likes to really go back and forth. It's like you believe in one thing, I believe in something else, and it's cool. Because at the end of the day, like it doesn't change anything. We just are people with different perspectives. Monique says if Deacon turns Sheila in, who to say Sheila won't? Yeah, I mean Monique at this point, he's pretty much a screw. Dolly says prequels usually write themselves into a corner. Yeah, Dolly, and it brings me back to the Wonder Woman movie, and it was like, all right, fine, let's have a little bit of a backstory, whatever, fine. But then they decide to go, oh well, let's do 1984. And again, you know that there's nothing that's bad that's going to happen to her. She's not going to get seriously injured, or she's going to be fine by the end of the movie. So prequels don't really work too well. Um, Even though I did like the first Wonder Woman movie. Spike Quick says talking about reason why it's all Nina's fault. I mean, Spidey Quick. Well, are you talking Spidey Quick? Are you talking to me, or are you talking to? All right, let me just kind of skip down a little bit. Now, Johnson says if you had a show that took place after Mary died and the focus on John Hunting's days with Sam and Dean kids, it would have been closer to Supernatural. Maybe, maybe. I don't know. Jonathan. At the end of the day, I mean, even making like Sam and Dean like small kids, they're not Sam and Dean. They're not Jerry Padalecki and not Jensen Ackles. So, like, the magic is it's not really there. If that makes sense. Shauna says Daniel doesn't want to talk about Heather, but he can talk about yeah. Ain't that amazing? Yeah, Jennifer P. And that's just. I feel like that's just the best way to go. Spike Quick says, I always like to debate with people with me. It doesn't get me mad or upset. It's just something fun for me. Okay, cool. Oh, no, no, no. It's Spike Quick. At the end of the day, it didn't matter if, I'll say this. Oh, Travas is in the chat. What's good? It didn't matter if Nina knew that, it didn't matter if Nina knew that Willow had cancer. Willow was pregnant, and Willow said no. That should have ended the conversation right there. This whole, well, da 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 da, and your life is perfect, and this, that, and the third, it doesn't matter. She said no. Like, last time I checked, no means no. Trevor says Trina's a fool to give her heart to the bad boy instead of. Well, Trevor's, both of them are fools, her and Joss. But they got two good dudes in their lives, and um, you know, they don't appreciate them. It really sounds like real life when you really think about it. Um, yeah, honestly, tell you, Takesha even explained it better than me. I'm just like, yo, this chick is pregnant. She does not want to be out there in that hot sun or cold or whatever. Her feet is probably swelled. Leave the damn chick alone. Now, Dolly says prequels only work if you can tell either a couple of originals or you tell a really specific story from their lives. Prequels don't work well as, yeah, like you said, Dolly, they write themselves into a corner. You said it perfectly right then and there. Johnson says Supernatural probably would have been better left off. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, Jonathan. And like I said, the show's been on for 15 years. 15 years. At some point, I mean, even after the first 10, what are we doing? I mean, come on now. We had the men of letters. They went from going from hotel to hotel to staying in a bunker. So now they got a layer. What are we doing? I mean, I could practically do a video on Supernatural and probably a little bit of a decline if you really think about it. Sean says, I don't feel bad for Deacon. He been sleep. Yeah. Yeah, Sean, I don't know where that came from. Monique says Billy wanted to talk to Adam about boundaries when he came to Chelsea, but what if Billy's doing not allowing Chelsea? Yeah, exactly, Monique. That's what I was like, yo, listen. Billy, I feel like he may be more of a detriment than anything else. Trevor says, why don't you appreciate good boys? No, Trevor says, why don't they appreciate good boys? Because they're good to them and they're safe. I mean, Trina wants to then be with somebody who practically flushed her life down the toilet just by being in the same vicinity. And Cam has been really supportive despite Joss and all her mess. And, kind of dating somebody who's some way tied to the mob. Like Quick says, also people saying Nina might feel like crap when the truth comes out, and she definitely will, but I feel like Willow might feel worse. Maybe. Exactly. In the case, yeah, I wasn't feeling a letter art. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like it lost some of its magic. Them staying, being on a road and stuff like that. It was kind of cool watching them go from town to town and stuff. And then it's like, nah, we got a bunker now. What? Jennifer P says Michael Griffin. Yeah, exactly. Jennifer P. You know the Michael curse. You know the Michael and the Maxie curse. Monique says never got into Supernatural. I watched a couple episodes, but I was into Monique. You spoke my language. You said the Vampire Diaries and the originals. You are amazing. Jonathan said I like Supernatural better when Sam and Dean were just on the road instead of having an actual base. Yeah, it was something about it that was really, yeah. It was something that was just really cool. And they lost that magic. I don't know if they just lost the budget or something, but Mel says I can't believe Bill is going to have his sword necklace on again because he got rejected by Brooke. Mm. Jennifer P says the actress that plays Willow is on contract. Mm. Okay. I guess you will be getting that bone marrow transplant. Jennifer P, how do you feel? Okay, how long have you been watching these soap operas for? He said Josh didn't want Cam until she was doing. Yeah, kind of seen something like that. Kind of seen. It seems like something Carly would do, wouldn't it, Nikisha? Jessica's in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight? Trevor says Josh and Trina are very smart and sensible women who just can't be satisfied with smart, mature, and decent guys. So how smart and sensible are they then? I mean, Trevor, I feel like that's kind of a contradictive sentence when you really think about it. Jennifer B, I was asking if she's on. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know, Jennifer P. I gotta find that out. But it's funny though, Jennifer P. Because when you really think about that, if we don't know if this person's on contract, wouldn't it make for better wouldn't it make for better suspense if we don't know? Kenya says, "What are some example of good prequels out of Star Wars?" Hmm. That's well, Kenya. Well, I mean, Star Trek. Star Trek. I mean, I feel like Kenya. I feel like with prequels, it has to be like a limited series because you can only write so far. And I think that's the problem with prequels. Unless it's a limited season, you're not gonna really go that far going up. One is says Deacon got to get rid of Sheila so he can go out the brook while Ridge is gone. Well, not if Bill, the scumbag that he is, gets there first. Um, I mean, I like Bill, but still. Jessica, my day is actually My night is good. My day was a little rough. My night is good though. I had way too much dairy today. Um, Billy says the funny thing is I always knew they would go. Yeah, Minnie Carly with Josh. Spike Quick says I feel like Dex and Josh gonna get in, get pregnant. Yeah, it's funny Spider Quick because I actually had a really good thumbnail. I had a really good thumbnail, and I was like, let me not use it because I know it may come across as clickbait. So, um, now Double C says I watched CW since it was UPS, and I watched Buffy. Yeah, Double C. Yeah, I used to watch. I used to watch a little bit of WB. Like I used to watch a lot of their comedies and stuff. Jennifer P says Josh shouldn't be mad at Sunny. That's too old. Well, it's not even just that. Jennifer P. She comes across as a hypocrite, and that's what it really comes down to. But yeah, I do want to sit there and touch back on that though. Thank you for saying that, Jennifer P. Because at the end of the day, we could sit there and have debates about these characters. I just don't like where it gets a little bit too out of hand. And granted, it wasn't out of hand yesterday, but I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can come across a little bit harsh if everyone haven't noticed. Now, Nikki says everyone says Josh and Dex is like Carly and Jason, but I feel like it's more like Elizabeth and Jason. Hmm. What makes you think that, Nikisha? Josh is just as much Jax as. Oh, okay. Good point. Hippies in the chat. What's good tonight? Hippie, Spikequick was actually talking about you earlier as far as if you remember the time because you live in Missouri. And I gotta put that in my next community post so this way you know what time it is when you come through. Tracy said now Tracy says you were cool yesterday. I thought we all had great communication. You never boring. Thank you, Tracy Steve. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because you know how it is. Sometimes you sit there debating with people and stuff, and it's just like one person believes in one thing really strongly, and the other people think of one way. So it's like, and sometimes when I do my reviews, it's a lot different than doing lives because when I do my reviews, I can come across as kind of a dick if people in the chat haven't noticed, and it's a lot different when you're talking to live people, and I do have to sit there and keep that in mind. Now, Juanita said, "Oh, how are you doing tonight, hippie?" Jonathan says Nina's smoke towards Carly is going to be long lasting after she learns that Willow is yeah. Ah, okay, all right, hippie. Well, I'm glad you came on. Dolly says Carly, Jackson, Sunny are huge hypocrites, so Josh learning from her main. Yeah, that is actually really true, Dolly. Tracy said you are so passionate about these souls. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate that. Thank you. I I love the fact that people actually have a good time, and I think as long as I'm able to do that, and I feel like I actually did pretty good in in these lives because I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Mel says Brooke went off on Thomas. Dad said she was a screwed up mother. Yeah, stepmother. Yeah, I was like, wow. Now Thomas, I'm seeing a whole different side to Thomas, and it is very interesting to say the least. Now, Nikki says I was watching when Elizabeth and Jason first found love. She saved his life when he got shot. Working for Sunny too. Oh, okay. Good point, Nikisha. I didn't watch it that far back, so okay. Good point. Tracy says Thank you. Thank you. My God, thank you, Tracy Steves. I appreciate that. I had a long day, and this has been the highlight of my day. So having you here, Tracy, and Keisha, and everyone else here, this is literally the best part of my day. Monique says if Cam decides to move on, that when Josh will show her possessive side. Oh yes, I don't. I think it was Keisha that said Cam that Josh only started liking Cam when there was a bit of interest between Trina and Cam. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it was you, Monique. I don't know if it was Nikisha, but I know somebody said that. Now, Dolly says, I like Jason with Elizabeth. I pretty much like him with everyone but Sam and Courtney. Really? Now, Dolly, I can kind of agree on the Courtney part, but what about Sam now? Very interesting to hear your thoughts on that. Who Hippie says I need to watch today's episode on Hulu tonight. I miss watching it on Hulu because I always have to sit there and watch it like on my phone or on like YouTube. But I miss watching it on Hulu. Shauna says I love seeing Diane shook. She's been making disgusting. She not scared of that man like she claimed Jack's been dumbed down. Shauna, I wanted to ask you a question because I saw one of your comments before, and I know you don't like Diane, but since she's gotten back to Genoa City, what has Diane done? We're not talking about what she did back then. I'm talking about what has she done now. Trish says, I'm happy that I woke up today, but honestly, it wasn't going all that good. I'm working on a project that is trying my patience. I'm listening to you finish up what I'm doing. And thank you. Yeah, Tracy, it was a rough day. It was a rough day. One day says, okay, I'm ready for another pregnant. Yeah, I think it's about that time. Nikisha, it was me. Oh, yes, okay. I feel like it was you, Nikisha, but I was like, I wasn't too sure. That's why I did call out your name first. Now it says, I hope Tucker and Jeremy run into each other, but it's not after Tucker, but Diane. Dudley says when Sam was introduced, she was that edgy with her own gender. When she got with Jason, her whole thing became about Jason. Okay, fair point. Fair point, Dolly. Monique says, don't think Phyllis is that stupid that she would send Jeremy to the Abbott's house where her daughter lives. I think it was Tucker or Ashley. No, Monique. Phyllis literally said that she had a conversation. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, Tracy. No, Monique. Phyllis literally said that she had a conversation with Jeremy Starks and told her about Diane turning him in. So regardless if she pointed him towards the Abbots, she knows like Diane stays there. So and she's always around her family and stuff like that. The point is Phyllis took it too far, you know? I mean, to be you know what? I'll sit there and say this. There's a good possibility, and I'll play devil's advocate for a minute. It's a good possibility. Okay, thank you, Tracy. I'm glad you're good, Tracy. There's a good possibility that Jeremy would have still came after Diane, even if those three wicked witches of the West didn't point Jeremy in her direction. So I will sit there and say that much. Um, Now Mel says it would be a slap in the face when Ashley hooks up with Tucker. I know Jack will be mad. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be too surprised since Jack has taken Diane's side. Mel says Phyllis use a burner phone talking to Jeremy, so it can't be traced back. Yeah, but I mean that's not the point though. Now, I mean the point is Phyllis literally told Jeremy that Diane was the one that practically got you arrested. So the fact that you pointed that man in her direction puts Diane to jeopardy. And also puts anyone that Diane cares about in jeopardy, like Kyle, Summer's husband, who is Phyllis' mother. I mean, who is the mother of Phyllis. So it still ties back to what I said. So this whole, Phyllis isn't that stupid. No, 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 no. She really is that stupid. But she's just that angry that she's blinded by rage. Shauna says she's been making digs at Phyllis to the point where she was so emotional and blowing up. Jack can't forgive her, but can't forgive Diane. Look how she digged at Diane, at Ashley. Diane constantly lying. Now, okay, let's dissect that for a minute, Shauna. She's been making digs at Phyllis. Yeah, but I mean they've been going back and forth for a while. You know, I mean my point is Diane hasn't done anything lately as far as any sort of plots or schemes or anything like that. Now how Jack handles his situation with Diane and Phyllis, that's on Jack. But she didn't actually she hasn't done anything. That's my point that I'm sitting there saying that she hasn't done anything yet. When she spent time, when she sent when she spent that man money, Jack said, yeah, no, Sean, I agree with that. I was like, no, Jack, you will not give that man any money. Now, Nikisha says, I really like the scene of Tucker, Devon, and the baby. They were so cute on the floor. Yeah, I'm just like, are they ever going to sit there and give that boy Harrison a haircut? Or are you just going to let him run down with his hair down down to his legs at this point? Hippie did no. Hippie Drew is not on the show today. Now, Johnson said the New Year episode of Days should be full of drama. I'm waiting for it, Jonathan. I'm loving Days so far. Yeah, Shauna, I will agree with you on that. I was like, Jack, you will not give that man his money. Diane better sit there and find a way to work that out. Get a loan or something. I spent that money reinventing myself. Did you honestly think that he was never going to get out of jail? Dolly says, where's Kristen? To tell Phyllis she's a hypocrite and why not? Christine. I don't know who Christine is, but Mel says Diane has been keeping secrets from the family, so she should not have betrayed Tucker. She should not have betrayed Tucker telling everyone. Mel says, I'm sorry, but I'm team Tucker side than Jack's side. There's nothing to be sorry about that, Mel. You feel how you feel. I appreciate that. I'm just looking at the whole thing. I'm like, now Monique says Diane breathing the same air as the wicked witches of GC makes them upset. Yeah, clearly. I mean, the stuff that happened years ago, they're sitting there acting like, oh, this shit gotta go. Like, really? Dolly says, I hope Gabby remembers everything at the altar and just flips out at her wedding. Well, what will Lee do though? You know, like Dolly, let's say that happens. What do you think that Shin's course of action would be at that point? Besides going to jail and being embarrassed and probably getting fired. Mel says, I hope Tucker gets the company for Ashley than Jack. Dolly says Christian was Phyllis' main rival when Phyllis was a villain in the 90s. Dolly, it feels like I missed out on some really great stories back in the day. Like, it really feels like I missed out on some really great stories back in the day. But I did get a chance to watch General Hospital and One Like to Live, and eventually Port Charles. So I don't regret that too much. Now Nikki says Nikki is so mad that Dan is alive, but you think she will be happy she thought she killed her, right? She should be happy that she isn't a murderer. That's a good point, Nikisha. Hippie says I think he was misdiagnosed. He only went cray cray when he was arrested. And that's true, Hippie. That's true. I will sit there and say that much. Um Marshall had to do some really terrible stuff back in the day where there wasn't really a lot of rights or anything like that for people of color, and getting arrested for protesting and just, well, pretty much being black. I can see how that would make people, I can see how that would make them upset and lose it. Johnson says, I think Gabby and Stefan may automatically get their memories back on each other. Shauna says, Jack, just weak. The man was in his house and he said nothing. Well, I mean, Shauna, what was he going to sit there and do? It felt like he wants to sit there and play it cool, just sit there and kind of, you know, suss him out or whatever. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Sit there and be like, what are you doing in my damn house? Get out now, and like grab him by the collar and like pull him out? Like, I felt like it was kind of a good play. He doesn't know what Jeremy has or how much power, how much influence, how much money or anything like that. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I felt like that was kind of the best course of action. Mel says Phyllis ran over Christian, who was with Danny. Oh, okay. WC says G should bring in Lila Ray or Emma for Cam. He deserves better. Yeah, that is the collective. That is the collective sentiment in the chat. Billy says I think Lee would probably try to lie his way out. Wendy would try to defend him, and she and Johnny would get exposed for knowing too. Yeah, it would be a giant cluster F. Dolly. Monique says Phyllis ran over Paul and Kristen all because Danny chose Christina over her, and Phyllis didn't like it. Wow. Wow, Monique. Yeah, Phyllis is definitely a villain back in the day. Hippie says that I think Epiphany will be the one to help Marshall figure it out. WC says there was pretty great story back in 00 in the 2000s when social was really hot. That's true, Double C. I really started watch. I really loved General Hospital back in the day. Now Jessica says how annoying was Kurt today. Oh, he was extra annoying. Jessica, he was so annoying that it made me question Jordan's intelligence. Like, how is it possible that you married this man? And he had the audacity, and I'm going to say this again for the people that just came into the chat. He had the audacity to invite Jordan to his wedding, the Portia, the chick that he couldn't wait to run into. Like, he couldn't wait to run to when he was getting that divorce ASAP from Jordan. But you're going to. Yeah, Jessica, he was definitely being hell of annoying. And Mel says Lee win and Johnny would tell Gabby the truth. Yeah, but I feel like it's going to be a while. Jonathan says Lila Ray is also a Quartermain, so she will probably be living at the mansion. Yeah. Dolly says I would love Lila Ray to come back because we can get some Sky cameos too. Hmm. Dolly, I think I was asking a question yesterday, like, what is the actress that plays Sky is doing right now? Also, I think she's been on almost all the shows. She's been on All My Children. She's been on Like Live, General Hospital. I think the only show that she was not on was Port Charles. Now, Monique says it was like, look at what you could have with me. Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, you got. Oh no, he's just disrespectful. Mel said, here is the saying. Here's the saying: people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. He says, I used to like Curtis, but the way he treats Jordan is disgusting, like almost emotionally abuse. Like just leave her alone if you don't. Yeah. Tracy says, yes, Kai has been around for years. She's been around for years. I don't know why Jordan's still nice to him. Couldn't be me. Yeah. And it's funny, Jessica, because I said the same, well, I said worse. I called Brooke pathetic, and apparently I was being too mean. Jonas is in the chat. What's good, Jonathan? Joshua. What's good, Joshua? How you doing tonight? Good seeing you. Who says you're right? Poor Charles was the only. Yeah, because I used to love watching Poor Charles. Nikki says I have to cop run up. I have to cop run up. What? Billy says there are some really great soap actresses that these shows need to pick up. Well, it's always good to hear that, Joshua. I'm glad you're actually in the chat. I have the cops run up and support and blow up the whole. Yeah. Well, Nikisha, we can all sit there and just bask in the fact that it's not really Curtis's place. People keep sitting there talking about the Savoy is Curtis's club, and I'm like, it hasn't been Curtis's club since he did business with Miss Wu. Monique says, if you hold on to anger, it gives the other person power over you. It was what I had to learn. Mm, Monique, you are right. I just don't think that I'm that mature. Double C says Curtis did what would Riz do to invite his ex. Yeah. I haven't really watched the show that long. He said Jordan could mess with Curtin if yeah, she could. She kinda should, to be honest. This is the one time that I'll be like, you know what? I usually don't like when people be spiteful, but this dude deserves it so much. King just says, on what planet did Curtis really think it was even prudent to go to Jordan workplace when the invitation is that's exactly is that I said that in my review when you watch it. I was like, why would you do that for? Mel says I'll be sad with the Charlie's Angels going to yeah. Oh, thanks to Kristen. Shauna says Curtis is jerk. He really made me mad. Why did you not rock him? Shauna, I mean, the basic question you should sit there and ask is, why is Jordan still in love with Curtis? And it's obvious because there's not really a lot of men for her to pick from when you really think about it. But Billy says, I'm still trying to figure out. I was trying to. Dolly, you're too much. I love it. Jay Blue says Curtis thinks Jordan still owes him for exactly. That's how he did when he walked in. He was like, "Well, this is this is exactly why we're not married anymore." Jordan, I really feel like you need to be reading this man. Like you really need to be reaming this man out. The fact that Curtis was like, "I can't believe." See, this is why we're not married. No, we're not married for a couple of reasons. This mostly has a lot to do with the fact that the minute that Portia got in town, he couldn't wait to sit there and leave her. Now, Monique says, what if Stella isn't Curtis's real mom, but he is her sister's son, and Stella raised him as her own? It's a soap opera. Anything's possible. That's true. Ken says, who are Marshall and Stella to each other? Um, I guess sister-in-law or brother-in-law. That's a good question. I'll have to really think about that. I'll have to really think about that. Is that exactly Jay Blue? But I want to sit there and try to watch at least a good 10 minutes of B&B tonight before I go to bed. So I'm probably gonna sit there in the stream on here because I also do want to sit there and put out my review of GH. So with that being said, I'm gonna go, but I do want to thank everyone for joining. This was a hell of a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone for being here. Um, I know I couldn't sit there and read all the comments and stuff like that, but I did want to sit there and try to talk to people as well as read the comments. And I thought I did at least a good decent blend of reading out the chats and also talking to people at the same time. Because I don't know, I guess I feel like if I was just gonna be here just to read the chats and not actually talk to people, you know. So I want to do a little bit of kind of both. Thank you, Kenya. You have a good night. Thank you, Shauna. Stay safe. Have a good night, Tracy. Thank you for being here. Let me access people. Go back. Thank you, Tracy, Steve. My God, I really appreciate you so much. Thank you. And just thank you for being here. You're an amazing subscriber and supporter, and I'm very lucky to have you, as well as everyone else in the chat. Um, back to Finland, but Nikki, Victor, and Weinar hasn't. Yeah, that's true. That's very true, Monique. And I haven't even been watching the show that long. Thank you, Nikisha. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Um, yeah, it's definitely something that I'm still learning how to do. So, but practice makes perfect, and it's just really fun to sit there and talk to everyone in the chat. So I think learning how to be a better streamer is just working out because I just have a lot of fun talking to everyone in the chat. So thank you again, Tracy Stevens. Thank you again, Nikisha. Thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure to see you. Dolly, same thing for you. Hippie, it's a pleasure as always to see you. Jonathan, Blackman, I know Blackman was in the chat at some point. Um, Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I love everyone in the chat. Mel, I know I'm going to kind of forget a couple of names. Hippie, stay safe, everyone. And I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow in the live stream. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I'm going to look up your time. I'm going to try to do that tonight before I go to bed, Hippie. So, yes, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jonathan. I'm actually going to try. Thank you for this edition of Soap Chat. Have a great night. I'm gonna try to use that as my closing outro for this chat. I'm actually gonna borrow that, Jonathan. So I hope that's okay. But I will sit there and give you credit for that. Have a good night now. Stay safe. Stay safe, everyone. And I look forward to seeing everyone in tomorrow's live stream.